Welcome to Brilliantly British. My name is Lawrence and today I'm going to show you how to make Scotch pies from scratch beautifully. So as I show you how to make them, sit back, relax in that chair of yours with a cup of tea in hand, putting your feet up too, and enjoy this episode. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Scotland, the land with stunning landscapes, a famous drink, some notable inventors, and the land that envisioned this, the Scotch pie. A hearty meal or snack consisting of spiced mutton mince encased in a crunchy, crumbly, hot crust pastry. In today's episode, this humble looking pie will be made from scratch with a verdict at the end which we believe will inspire you to give our recipe a try. Now, before we get started with the introductions made and your appetite stoked, allow me to introduce the ingredients to you. For today's Brilliantly British Scotch pies, you will need some plain white flour, some lard, some mace, some marjoram, some white pepper, some mutton mince or lamb mince. You will need some full fat milk, some water, good quality stock, and of course, to avoid the occurrence of bland food, some salt and some black pepper. That's it for the making of today's Brilliantly British Scotch pies. But before you get started, before you do anything at all, I say switch on your kettle, brew yourself a nice cup of hot tea so that you can sip on that whilst you bake. To start your Scotch pies, to some freshly made stock, add salt, marjoram, mace and white pepper, whisking to form a homogeneous solution. Then in a bowl, mix your mince with your stock spice solution, placing it to one side for now, allowing the mince to marinate and absorb those wonderful flavours. Next, in a pot over a moderate heat, turn in lard and water with a pinch of salt. Continue to warm the contents until the salt dissolves and the lard melts. Then, with the wet components of the pastry formed, gradually incorporate with flour in a bowl. Then once cohesive, cover, set to one side, allowing your ball of dough to cool completely. Now, for today's pies, I'll be using the following rings and a cake pan, dimensions of which will be in the description below. These will give us the characteristic form. Now, with the dough now cool, turn out on a floured surface. Then for the smaller rings, cut away a third of the dough. Then, with the larger portion of the dough still in hand, cut away a third, which will be used to form the top of the pie. Off camera, I greased my pan, which I then floured, before rolling out the larger share of dough, which I tucked into my pan. Following on, I rolled out the smaller third, trimmed away all excesses, and then cut a hole in the pie top pastry sheet there also. At this point, begin to heat up your oven. Then fill your pan with a portion of your seasoned mince, simply laying your disc of pastry atop thereafter. This pie happens to be ready for baking, but before that, I'll repeat the steps with the remaining pastry and mince with the smaller pastry rings. With all of the pies made, brush them liberally with milk, then bake until bronze like these pastries on screen now. After baking, allow them to cool until warm, and well, with that said and done, I think it's now time for tasting. Alright, we have a fresh batch of Scotch pies in front of me here. So, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I really like them. I really do like them. The pastry, crisp, rich as well. The way it's made, hot crust pastry, the simplest of all pastries, is actually up there in terms of the results. Then you've got the filling itself. You would think it would be, one-dimensional, very boring, very bland, but the spices and the herbs that have gone in there really do lift the mutton. The mutton in of itself is very, very flavoursome. It's a lot stronger than lamb because obviously it's from an older sheep, but These things in combination work together beautifully, and you would think the filling would be really dry, but that's not the case at all. The quality of the mince, of course, does make a big difference, but it is not the case. It's very rich, very fatty, very fulfilling and satisfying. So all I have to say, considering all those elements, is at some point, when time allows, take the time to make a batch of Scotch pies, because you will not regret it. So please, please, please make these pies, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you all for allowing me to show you how to make Scotch pies from scratch at home yourselves. Knowing that you loved this episode, don't forget to click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you don't miss any of our new releases. Tell everyone you know about the Brilliantly British food on this channel, and follow us on all of the social media platforms that this channel is on, and I will see you next time.